What is it do you like about Coke?
I love the smell of it.
Is raw. It's raw every goddamn year.
Yes,
Hey man,
Lord.
serve 'em raw, goddammit.
Subscribe to Serving It Raw and let's keep it
all the way funky, uncut, raw. Serving it raw just like my boy Gutter Kane.
Yes, Lord. You done tapped into Serving It Raw podcast. I am your host, Gutter Kane, the Gutter Man, the Pyrex Iron Chef. And today's special guest is a Bay Area hip-hop pioneer, an entrepreneur, an author, an independent music architect, and one half of one of the most influential groups to ever come out of San Francisco. From creating anthems that helped define an era to building businesses, publishing his life story, and continuing to release new music decades later, his journey represents resilience, evolution, and staying true to your roots while continue to grow. Servers, help me welcome to the show, BlackC. What's going on, big dog?
What's up with you, man?
Oh man, just chilling, man. I just just glad and happy, man, to be able to tap in with you, bro. Like I've been a fan of your music for years. Followed your career, everything that you went through, not only on a street level, but what I'm saying, on a musical forefront, man. And I just want to be able to document your legacy a little bit deeper than the normal surface level that everybody seems to, question you on.
Man, it's love. Let's get it.
All right. So I know everybody knows the name RBL Posse, but very few people know the actual beginning. So, take me back to 91, before the records, before the recognition, before Don't Give Me No Bammer became a classic in the Bay. When did you and Mr. C come together? And when did you first realize that y'all weren't just making music, y'all was building something bigger than yourselves?
I met Mr. C through a mutual friend, T Lo. He's somebody that actually he was a rapper in our neighborhood who I actually was trying to do a group thing with, but a little before that, it was all kind of started with Budweiser. It's a rapper named Budweiser. Y'all could Google him or whatever, man. It's Budwser. And Budweiser was the one that kind of introduced me as far as to the music by me wanting to get me to invest in him. I had just got out of Log Cabin Ranch out in La Honda, California. That's a boys encampment, like for like if you try to, it's like an option for instead of going to the youth authority. Like, if a lot of people don't know, California Youth Authority is sort of like a little mini penitentiary for juveniles or whatever. So if you I had a little money, was able to get a lawyer to get me to the boys ranch. So it's more like a camp, where you hang out. So I got out of there around 91. I mean 89, 90, and Budweiser got me to invest in a studio. So that's kind of like was my introduction to music, me going to go buy the studio equipment for Budweiser. So when I got the equipment, he didn't know none of them knew how to work it. So me, being that I invested I invested probably like 5,000-6,000 into the stuff. So I didn't want to waste my investment. So I started tinkering with it, learning how to play with it, learning everything without manuals, because we bought a lot of stuff from the pawn shop. And from there, T-Lo, my brother, Baby Dre, all them, Budweiser, they was the rappers. I wasn't even thinking about rapping at the time. I became a DJ by default, pretty much, I mean, well, DJ / producer by default. So, and then it went from there to one day they wasn't coming in the studio. So I ended up tinkering one of my beats. It was actually the beat that we added on the back of Lesson to Be Learned, the You're a Customer by EPMD. That beat, I made a song called What About My Niggas, where I named all my homies. And that was like my hit. Everybody loved it. And I took Too Short advice when he said, man, you name everybody in the neighborhood, they gonna play it. So I named a lot of people in my neighborhood and they ended up playing it. And what happened was I made that. I had A Lesson to Be Learned. I had the More Like an Orgy that's on there. I had them songs already, and I was finna actually be a solo artist, but then I got cold feet. So I tried to go to T-Lo, who was like the Ice Cube of our neighborhood. I went to him and like, man, let's do a group thing, bro. Let's take these songs and, produce some new ones. and me and you go do our thing. And he was just like, he didn't want to do it because he was hot at the time. So
Okay.
what he did was he was like, man, I got my girlfriend, bro. Her brother is dope. I bring him up there. That's all he do is sit and write. And I was like, all right, bring him through or whatever. He said, man, trust me, bro. He said he a lyricist. He ain't like how me and Budweiser and us. He's come up here freestyling. He really right. So he went, got him the next day. He brought him up there, and it was Mr. C. And me and Mr. C connected, and he came up to my house that day and never left. We got in the studio. We made him a song called Hit Squad New Jack. And we was called the Hit Squad before RBL. And then EPMD and them later on came with the name Hit Squad, so we had to change it. And T-Lo actually gave us the name too. He was like, bro, forget the Hit Squad, bro. Y'all ruthless by law.
That's
And it
tight.
stuck.
Okay.
And we didn't even know the name. We didn't even have a meaning for it. It just sounded dope. Like, okay, we ruthless by law. Within the laws, okay, well, whatever. It just sounded dope. You know
They
what I mean?
did. It did.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I love that shit. I even love the fact that you shortened it, but I was like, even if you would have kept it
Right.
the whole shit. Yeah, that was tight.
For sure.
Now what was the chemistry between you and Mr. C like that made it work?
I think it was that wasn't really tripping off of being like the star rapper. I was really into the beats and everything. And he wanted to rap. He wanted to be a star. Mr. C didn't mind taking the lead on the stage and being that kid. Like he was a ladies' man, and I was more in the backfield. I liked choreographing the album, doing the album covers, choreographing the song order. Executive producing the project more than rapping. Rapping was like third to me. He was like executive producer first, beat maker second, and then rapping. But he was rap. That's all he did was rap. So I think that's what really helped us, because we was both like jockeying for position in the group to try to be the best. I think it would have probably threw it off a little bit. It would have probably caused, you never know, jealousy or anything. We would have probably damn near split up later on. But I didn't care about that. You know what I mean? I wanted to have somebody as the lead in the group. And I always looked at him as the lead in RBL. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, I want to let people know that you've had, you're a solid person when it comes to the Frisco streets, especially Hunters Point. Like that's
sir.
that's your turf. I know you've constantly on other interviews addressed the situation. So from a street level, I know you were shot, you lost your eye.
Right.
You were involved. Well, not I ain't gonna say involved. You were able to survive the turf war down in Frisco. You've also lost Mr. C and you lost Hitman. Okay.
Correct.
But so you're the surviving member of RBL. I don't want to focus too much on that because I know that's the surface level. And so, a lot of people gravitate towards that, but I want to dig more into RBL and your movement business wise. So looking back now, what was some business decisions RBL made that you feel don't get enough credit in hip hop history?
Business deals that don't get enough credit.
Because a lot of people talk independent rap today, mentioning
that's what I'm
ownership
saying. Because
masters.
that's what I'm thinking about. Really, we didn't really do too many. Only thing that we really did as far, because we stayed independent. You know what I mean? Well, we was independent after we went through Intermittent Records, and we put Intermittent on. We put them on. So I think we really get the credit for bringing the spotlight to Intermittent Records. I know for surely we did that because they were just like kind of a local one-stop music people over there, and a record label, Intermittent Records, didn't really get that much shine, and they had a nice roster where they had us, they had Cool, IMP, Cool Nut and them, they had Totally Insane, they was doing, they had Dre Dog, aka Andre Nicotina at the time.
Now they put out Master P's early stuff too.
Master P and them, they was just distributing it through the music people, because there was two companies. It was the music people as the one stop where everybody was going through them, where they had like Too Short Old stuff was going through with all the Freaky Tale stuff and all that. You had all the Master P and them stuff. You had Delinquents, everybody, you know what I mean? Going through there. So it was that going on. And then that was Elliot Blaine running that. And then Elliot let his son Jason start a record label there, because a lot of us rappers was coming through there getting distribution. through them
Gotcha.
as a one stop to where they can send everything out. So he started the label. And he was trying to get it, he could have been like the death row. Like if he would have spent money and not been on coke and getting high and doing like blowing the budgets and all that, he actually, if he would have really focused, he could have did his thing for real, man, and really like been like death row before death row in them. You know what I mean? Because he had access to us, C-A-Wall and them, C-Boy and all them. He was working with St. Charles, E40 and them, Uncle and them, and like he was dealing with a lot of people. So, but he just wasn't paying nobody. He didn't want to pay. You doing hella good. He want to keep all the money. And during that time, if you sign with him, you he maybe have 3 months to pay you. So he accumulating all these sales. We selling. And he maybe sold 50, 60, 70,000 units within them 3, 4 months. But then he owing us, maybe $5 times that much. So and he didn't want to pay it,
Gotcha.
because he blew a
Okay.
lot of the dough, and I think that's what hurt him in the end, man. It really, just messed him up. But I think we put a lot of shine on them, man. We gave them the limelight, the spotlight rather, and yeah, I believe that was really one of the things that people that we don't really get respect for putting the shine on in a minute because they start doing the barbecues, and we was his claim to fame. It wasn't nobody on his label that was doing better than RBL Posse, at the time.
Yeah.
So we was
Was
able to.
was
Mhm.
there any lessons from those days that still apply to independent artists today? Like, is there anything that they can take from y'all journey and the stuff y'all did? Because y'all was selling shit out the trunk. I mean, but
Yeah,
the Bay Area has a hustle that's like I feel like is unmatched in a sense
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to independent.
I believe the only thing I would say for them to take from it is just really like artists can't get mad at labels when you ain't going over your paperwork, because what we do is they'll dangle that carrot in front of your face, and if you starve, you're a starving artist. They might say, man, we'll sign you for, like, we only signed for 10,000 at the time, and
Oh,
really what I was looking at, I had brought 5,000 cassettes over there, and he like, man, I'm gonna cash you out $5 a piece on those. So that's 25,000. I'm gonna throw an extra 10,000 on the top to sign for you to sign. So I'm looking at it as 35,000, and really the 25 was mine anyway. So I signed to get that extra 10 because all I was thinking about was going back to the block and hustle. So, and he did tell us, I will give him credit that he said, man, get y'all lawyer, go over the contract, make sure it's right. And I'm just like, man, I don't even care. I can do this music up and down, left and right. I drop an album next week or whatever. It was easy to me. So I was just like, I didn't care what the terms was at the time. And we signed, get that money, and it's our fault, really. We got into a shitty deal, and at the same time, it's like I see a lot of artists that do it, and they get mad, like, man, nah, you got to, sort of like with Gucci Man and what's it called, Pooh Shiesty, you know what I
oh
mean? It's
yeah.
like you can't be mad, bro. When you signed it, you had time to get the lawyer to go over everything. You can't get mad and want to try to punk somebody out of a deal that you signed. And to me now, it's like looking back on that, I wish I'd have made sure my I's was dotted, T's was crossed, and everything, man, before I did that. And I could have definitely benefited from that. And actually went further with intermittent records because that caused the friction in our relationship. So when we got on it, when we were going to do the deal with Atlantic Records, it made it like it was just a messy deal. Everything was a mess. And we didn't want to help them out because they was trying to bring the label along behind us. And we was like, nah, we don't want nobody coming with us. Totally insane.
Oh,
IMP, we doing this on our own. We ain't doing a label deal. We nah. And
mm,
and and Craig Callman was with it too. He's like, you know what? We gonna cut. We ain't even gonna bring them because that's what he trying to do. And he hit us on the side like, hey, we interested in y'all. Jason Blaine's trying to bring the whole Intermittent Records, man. And I don't want the whole Intermittent. I just want to work with y'all. We like, oh hell. So we wouldn't shut that shit down and it got messy. You know what I mean? So we had to do a
okay.
buyout and the whole nine. But yeah, man,
Okay.
it was
So
yeah, it
read
was
them
nice.
damn contracts. So that's
Yes, read
read
them
the contract.
contracts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to talk about y'all single. To me, I feel it was a classic, obviously. But don't give me no Bammer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know a lot of people see that record as a classic. And classics, usually become classics because they capture a moment in time. So why do you think Don't Give Me No Bammer still connects with people over 30 years later?
I think first of all, it's just, I mean, cannabis culture. I mean, that's just off top. Just having a herb song, we came at a time when they were censoring everything. So I think us at the time we came out, the only person that had a weed song was like MC Pooh. He had fucking with Dank, and you had Cypress Hill was dabbling with it, but they didn't really, they didn't have it out like us. Don't give me no Bammer weed. You could just, they was talking about it in their raps or whatever. But I think just we was kind of like one of the pioneers of really just like fuck it, don't give me no Bammer weed. We don't smoke that shit. You know what I mean? So
And
and that's what I
SLC.
think did it. You know what I mean? I think that's what helped and what did it. And it's just the cannabis culture nowadays is just it's gonna stay alive because every time that season come, our streams go up. Soon as 420 hit, we riding cloud nine all the way through till September, October. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a part of the culture now. And not only that, it just was a dope beat. You know what I mean? When people heard it, it was just magnetizing. It was just like, damn, man, like, so what's that? That saxophone and that flute in it, it just captured people's ears. So I think we just came at the right time and that thing dropped perfectly, man, right in the middle of all that mob funk type stuff that was going on from the Ant Banks and all them. And we came with something totally different, and people was rocking with it.
Did you know that y'all had something when y'all recorded that?
Oh
Or was
yeah,
it
for
did it
sure.
okay.
Before it even hit, it was a hit in my neighborhood. It was called "Don't Give Me No Bammer Joint." We don't smoke that shit in Hunters
100
Point.
point, yeah.
So I put it out first in my neighborhood, and they went crazy for it. So I knew off top that it was a hit. But all I was trying to do was conquer the city. When my boy was like, "Bro, you got to get Fillmore and Sunday. You got to get the whole city up in it, bro. You got to talk about Frisco. Like you need to make some kind of way. You need to make it a Frisco song." So I went from "Don't Give Me No Bammer Joint" to "Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed," and we don't smoke it in the SFC, and it worked out. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it was perfect.
Now I know you mentioned Too Short a few times, so I got to ask you this, and not just as a fan, but for the culture. Who are the top 5 artists that shaped you?
That shaped me. That's easy for surely. It was Ice Cube.
Okay.
It was Ghetto Boys. I would say NWA as a whole, even though I put Ice Cube kind of by itself, but it was. I wanted to be like Ice Cube. I wanted to be like 415. You know what I mean? So I would say Ice Cube, 415 with Richie Rich, D-Loc and them. I would say NWA.
Okay.
I would say I said the Ghetto Boys, and I would say IMP, Cool Nut and them. Because when I was in Log Cabin Ranch, when I got out, him and Budweiser and them was kind of like the ones who was like, damn, I'm gonna have to put Ice Cube with NWA. I'm gonna say NWA, Ghetto Boys, 415, IMP, and Budweiser. Because
Okay.
Budweiser was the one that, he the one that kind of was showing me the ropes, and he was like a star in our neighborhood too. He was doing his thing, you know what I mean? And he don't get a lot of credit. So I gotta put Budweiser up there. But then was the groups that shaped RBL that made us who we is. I was trying to be like them. I was learning from them. I wanted to go to the studio where Cool Nut was recording at. So that's how I met TC. I know he was working with all the earlier Cool Nut stuff with the I'm Rolling and Scanless and all that. So
one thing that you've constantly and consistently done is document the culture through interviews, music, autobiographies, and your continued presence. You become one of the people preserving Bay Area history firsthand. So what was the moment when you realized that y'all are not just making history anymore, you're responsible for preserving it?
You saying when did I actually know that?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I just think over time you just doing music and it just kind of happens like that. Like really, I just think it wasn't even about even preserving history or I would say it was more of a Frisco thing for us. It was like, we knew once we kind of got in the door, I was more worried about like the representation of San Francisco because, it was known as a tourist town and where the LGBT community was and all that. So I just really wanted people to know that it's a dark side in Frisco. We got more projects than any city. Like we hella projects. like in Frisco. So I mean, you would have to go out to Chicago and maybe, East Coast, Brooklyn and all them to try to even come close to what San Francisco got. So a lot of people just thought it was a tourist town. So my thing was getting in there and representing and making sure that Frisco legacy is represented right. You know what I mean? We just wasn't a tourist town, and we wasn't just no LGBTQ community where you got the Castro district. Yeah, we got that, but it's a whole nother side out there, you know what I mean? That's in the city. And us being next to Oakland, Oakland was always seen as the Mecca of the Bay, which it is, and we had to fight for our position. We had to, go to shows and stand our ground and do what we had to do back in the days, and down to this day they respect us. Oakland respect Frisco, they respect Richmond. They respect the EPAs, the Vallejos now. We all done made our moves and put our stamp down on this Bay Area movement. So that's really what it was about to me. It wasn't necessarily a hip hop thing, but through hip hop, it was just always me trying to represent Frisco, man. That's why I wear this proudly, all the time. You ain't gonna see me wearing nothing else. But
Yeah, I always
if
see
it ain't
you.
SF, it's RBL. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always see you as some type of Giants, something.
Yeah. I'm always Giants, maybe Niners here and there. I don't like the SF on the Niners, but it's gonna always be that Giants. I love that SF, man, and I'm gonna always, it's gonna always be that or RBL Posse gear, for sure.
Okay, have you ever seen that movie Sucker Free City?
Yeah, I seen it. I didn't really care for it. It was cool.
Okay, I was
It
going
was
to ask
cool.
you, was there how much of a accurate percentage?
10%.
Damn.
That wasn't no accurate, man. That thing was not. That was not Frisco. They had them talking different and all that. That was from a somebody else's perspective of San Francisco. But what I did respect about them was the fact that they had, saying Quinn, JT, a few people up in there. So that's the only thing I respected about it, that they did try to get a couple locals, and try to give them a spot to, in it to I guess get their acting debut or whatever.
Okay. Have you ever thought about doing a movie?
Yeah, we're gonna do a movie on ours, on my book and everything. We're trying to get the doc going. The book is out, so now we're gonna go from the book to the documentary to the movie.
Okay. Well, I do want to switch gears, and I actually want to talk about your autobiography, A Part of Survivor from the Block to the Booth.
Yes, sir.
I know that gives people a chance to see beyond the headlines. So, what was the hardest chapter to write? Not emotionally, but honestly.
Off top, it's gonna be awesome for surely be the eye for an eye.
Okay.
I can't remember which chapter it was, just off top of my head. I believe it was a chapter. Matter of fact, I got a book right here. Let's see.
Oh yeah, because I'm in the process of purchasing it, so I am going to need a signature there. So
yeah, it was the eye for an eye chapter, man, and
I'm gonna have to get that autographed if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, for surely. I got you, man. I got you. I'll get one out to you. But that was the hardest one, is because it was breaking down everything as far as me talking about what I went through as far as losing Mr. C. You know what I mean? Yeah, chapter 7, mourning. So that was the hardest chapter, man. That was just going over everything, over losing Mr. C, going through all the trials and tribulations, dealing with the label and everything, man. That hurt it. You know what I mean? And just being betrayed by homies you knew, and losing a homie that I felt I brought up there into our circle, into our family, because everybody we fell out with, we grew up together. We've been known for over 20 years. Mr. C was kind of a new addition. He had only been up there since 91. And he died in 96. So he was up there maybe, 4.5 to 5 years. So, that was a short period of time that he came up, made an impact on our city. I mean, in our neighborhood and on our city and just the Bay Area period. And he lost his life, And that was the part that just hurted me. Man, it just killed it for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man, because I know, like I said, I know you talked about your friendship with him and the bond that y'all had as brothers, man. And so
yes, sir.
Man. Yeah. So now when it comes to Eye for an Eye, the actual album,
Uh-huh.
Are you not a fan of that album too much?
Not really, because I was going through a certain time. That's why I don't really perform songs from that album. It's like people be, man, you gotta perform this song. I was like, man, that song, that album had its time. I'm on a whole nother page now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some of the dudes who I wasn't cool with, we pretty cool now. So it's like, it's one of those things where I'm not really tripping like that. I just don't care to revisit it. So I don't, every blue moon I might do How We Coming if people request it. But I don't perform anything from that album because I was just on a whole nother page. That the album, it was what it was. It was an eye for an eye. I'm talking about, I was getting shit off my chest. It was like a mental thing. It was therapy for me. Like just to I can't really go actually literally kill these dudes and really put down an eye for an eye. But what I'm gonna do is just, try to make success my revenge. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do with this album and make them feel it. That's why I wasted money putting billboards all on 3rd Street and all in my neighborhood when I'm supposed to put all that shit in some of my highly, how can I say it, where my demographic was, where I was really selling at. When you kind of look at back then the sound scan, we was doing hella good in up north, Seattle, Portland, the Midwest, out Kansas City, Detroit, down Southern California. Really, Southern California was my top market, and I didn't put nothing in my top market. I had like 2 billboards just around in my neighborhood just to make a statement. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
yeah, it just was a time where I just kind of wasted that deal too. And that was like my first album with the deal that I had with Atlantic Records, and I kind of wasted it. And that's what kind of messed up our relationship too, because I was just going through some things. So, I take blame for that. Mm-hmm.
All right. So 2 things before I actually move on to the evolution of you. How I'm Coming is actually one of my favorite songs by y'all. I mean, it's obviously a lot. I like the other 2 albums first, especially Lessons to Be Learned. I feel like Lessons to Be Learned is almost like a textbook because it showed both sides of the street, but stuff that you need to learn. But on How We Coming, on the music video, when you help Hitman from that dude picking him up against the wall. When y'all ran out of that motherfucker, when y'all slipped and fell, was that on purpose or was that accident?
Nah, hell no, that was for real. And we was hurting like hell. Mr. Hitman slid into me, man, and hit me, threw me off. Cause they wet the floors to make them look shiny. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that was a real fall. That wasn't supposed to be part of it. I tried to come around the thing and he comes sliding into me and he hit my feet, man, and we fall. You see us laughing after we get up. I'm laughing, running out the gate. But I was hurt like hell, my elbow and my hand. Oh, man, we had to take a break for like 20, 30 minutes. And then they left it in. They said, bro, we got to leave it in there. We didn't know. We didn't expect that, but we going to leave it in there. I said, all right, you think it's going to work? I said, man, but I'm going to be here hurting like a motherfucker, though.
Dude, look, I've been wanting to ask you that since 97.
Damn. Yeah. Now everybody asked me. That's why when you were saying that, I already knew where it was going because they always ask me, like, bro, did y'all really fall? Like, hell yeah, that was a real fall.
Yeah.
Shit, man,
dude,
slid all into me, man. On my knees. I hit my knee, my elbow, and my hand slapped the ground hella hard, man, with that mom trying to hold on to that Billy Club. Told my ass up.
I've been wanting to ask you that shit for a long ass time, man. But actually, hold on, was it 97? Hold on, when did the album come out?
97.
Okay, just want to make sure I was right on that one.
97.
Because I was in high school when I saw it, and I was like, man, I always wondered that. And so, yeah, that was the first thing I had in my mind. Now, my second question is, out of the 3 albums that y'all dropped as RBL, what is your favorite one?
Oh, the first one off top. Okay. That ain't nothing better than Lesson to Be Learned. Lesson to Be Learned is the starter. The creativeness, how creative we was just with me, with all the different samples and scratches. We brought the DJ in. I was real creative on that. And it was just us making our debut. And then Bammerweed, and that's still our biggest song in the catalog. It's like nothing bigger than that. It's like, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be a damn fool to say anything is above that album. That album is still my favorite album to this day. That I perform more songs off of that album than any of my albums. So
Okay.
that's hands down is my favorite album, my favorite songs to perform. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's a classic, bro. That's a classic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
classic all the way around. Now, I want to talk about your evolution, man, because you evolved a lot. You've continued to create, and so from the Black album to Ruthless, heavy in it, and now you got something to mob to.
Right.
How has that creative process changed from the '90s to today?
It just got easier, So I think too, by getting easier, I was able to focus more on lyrics. I evolved. I feel like I evolved, especially since my 2020 album, really since my 2015 album, Still Ruthless. From Still Ruthless till this came out 2015. Then I damn near almost was about to semi-retired, and Larry June came and got me. Then in 2020, after I linked up with Larry June, I put out a Black Caesar. The Black Caesar, I think, was the start of me just being real Black Caesar, who I am today. I think that was the start.
Yeah, that's
And
the one that has you as a kid on the
as a kid,
with the
that
crown.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I think that album right there was the start of me really was like just honing in on my craft, just really getting, just like, okay, now that I ain't really behind the boards doing a lot of the mixing and everything is moving fast now. It's like a fast food era. It's like the microwave era. I'm able to just really sit back. I ain't got to focus on all that too much no more. So I just started really just getting my pen game together. And I think that's when I was really start stepping everything up. And from that album on till now, I just see the evolution with me just lyrically getting better and better and better. And a lot of people just noticing that. It's like, bro, it's like a lot of these older dudes is getting like, dude, they getting weaker. They ain't sounding bad. They ain't sounding as good. They doing it like, bro, but you get better. Like, you really rap. Like, man, I finally having fun. I used to do beats. Everybody have a head start. Hitman, Mr. C, like NOH Mafia. When I was dealing with a lot of them, they all in the studio while I'm making the beats. They in there freestyling. They sparring with each other, and I couldn't do it. I'm in there focused on the beat, trying to listen to them, finding out what fit with the beat, and then when it's time for me to write, they done already got everything done. So now I got to go home, and the beat already been looping in my head. So I couldn't really write because I've been hearing it all day, looping over and over. So I just kind of get it done. So I couldn't really focus on myself lyrically, even though I got some pretty good ones in. But I always wrote last. All of them got their stuff out the way. Mr. C, Hitman, NOH. Every time I dealt with them, they got their stuff done as I was making the beat, and I had to go home and marinate on it. So I think I just, I evolved a whole lot, man, with my pen game.
What kind of motivates you now? Because you got a hell of a chemistry with is it Joe Frisco?
Yeah, Joe Fresco. Yeah,
Man,
that's my guy.
Man, look, the album that y'all the
Ruthless.
Yeah, the Ruthless one.
Yeah.
I like how y'all sampled like the Ruthless joints, but making it more like Frisco beat mob shit. Like, yeah, that shit was cold.
Yeah, man.
Especially the Audi 5000. That's my shit.
Oh, yeah. Joe, everybody wondered, like, man, why did you do an album with somebody who unknown? And all? It was just like, man, Joe brought something to the table. Joe woke it up for me. It's like, I don't care how big you is. That didn't mean that to me. Everybody like, you should have did an album with Yuck Mafia. You should have did an album with Sibo. Why you didn't do an album? Like, bro, the thing with me is you got to be easy to work with. And you got to be bringing something to the table. Not only just lyrically, a lot of these rappers be divas, and I don't want to deal with them. That's why even, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but just with me and Keith the Sneak, he easy to work with. He was easy, just a rapper. He like my partner, and he wasn't a diva when it came to the music. So it's easy to do an album with him. Same way it was with Joe Fresco. It don't matter how big you is, even if I'm not gonna gain nothing. But what I did gain was he came to the table with a lot of producers. He had singers that helped move my current albums. Like everybody I'm pretty much dealing with, from producers to everything, is a lot of people that came through Joe Fresco pipeline. And that's what I appreciated about him. He brought something to the table, and he dope. And if I let him know, like, I don't like that verse, bro, I don't like that hook, he gonna go back to the drawing board. He gonna be like, all right, for sure. I trust your decision. I trust the way you move with Black. And you big bro, whatever you say. He gonna go back and reshape it, redo it. You know, if I tell him like, nah, we gotta thug it out on this, bro. That's too soft. I don't want that. You know, we gonna go this way. Yeah, I want you to send, bro. You got that Easy E type voice. I want some more of that. Give me some of that for this room. That's what he did, you know, and that's what I love about him, man. And to this day, you know, me and him had long conversations on the phone. I could chew his ass out about something, and he's all right, big bro, you right. And we good. We back talking shit the next day. He don't take it to heart and get all mad about it and act like a diva and shit. So that's one thing that's good about it. So yeah, we gonna bring part 2 back. We just told them like, bro, everybody gotta go work on themselves, try to get their weight up a little bit, and then we gonna revisit this shit and going to do another one. So we've been throwing stuff to the side that we gonna use. We trying to, you know, I told them, man, we set the bar high with that one. We can't just throw nothing in the album there because that album is hard as hell. You know?
Hell yeah. That's
It's
a hell of a
hard.
project. Yeah. That's a
It's
hell of a
dope,
project.
man. Dope ass project. One of my favorites right now. One of my favorites.
Yeah, even down to the music video, man, and shit. Like just
everything.
Yeah, the way I did it. Now I know a lot of people talk about what's happening after the spotlight. And you've had a chance to build Right Way Productions. And I know you've continued creating opportunities outside of simply being an artist. So when you look at yourself today, do you see yourself more of an artist, a businessman, a mentor, or a historian? Shit, or all of the above?
You say
you got artist,
businessman,
mentor, or historian?
I would have to take for surely businessman. And a mentor for sure. Those two. I'm an artist too, but I think the other two, I'm more of that nowadays than anything, you know, because I got a lot of young guns up under me who that's all they call me, just trying to find out something. They milking my brain for information and know-how. What should I do, black, this and that. So I would say a mentor and a businessman because that's what I always loved was the behind the scenes part. Like I said, I always loved executive producing. You know, I always was behind the scenes doing that. So those two first, you know. Historian, not so much. I mean, I know a little something about the game and all that, but I don't look at myself as a historian. Not like I respect somebody like my boy Lord Rab at No Vultures, but man, it's people like them who remember a lot of the older rappers from back in the days. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of shit I'll be forgetting about until it actually come up in the conversation. It ain't just stored in my brain. You know what I mean? Until somebody bring it up. But yeah, mentor for sure, the businessman. I say more of those two than anything. Artists would probably be third, you know, behind those two. You know.
Okay. Right Way Productions covers what all entails in that? Like what all does that cover?
Right Way is the label, and it's really was my production company. It started off as my production company, and then it turned into a label because I was doing all the beats for RBL. So it started off as the Right Way Productions, just producing. And then when we got a hold of Hitman, that was actually when it first turned into the Right Way Productions record label. And it was just based on us trying to do everything the right way. You know what I mean? Just like, man, we ain't finna cut no corners when it comes to mixing, when it comes to doing merchandise, when it comes to promoting, when it comes to doing anything, we doing everything the right way. And it's just all about, it's just something we just feel like I just felt like I just want to live by. We doing everything the right way. Even just in life, we ain't trying to be out here doing nothing that's going to send us and have us in jail or looking boozy as hell. So we like, man, we try to do everything the right way, everything. So we live by that. And that's why I always kept it simple. Always, you know, kept it to the point where it's like, you know, we gonna get out here, do our thing, and represent this shield. You know, like it, not like, you know, like I said. That's why even with the logo making, like I was saying, I never wanted to do it like some of these other dudes where they had triple beams and have drugs and all that stuff, and you know, these weird label names and all that. Mine, I always try to keep it simple. Wanted to look like Priority or Def Jam or something, just real simple and to the point, the right way. So, and I live by that.
What's your what accomplishment are you proudest of that has nothing to do with record sales?
Moving my kids out the hood and changing their life. You know what I mean? Just giving them a better way, just actually breaking that cycle, you know what I mean? Or just living in the hood and just, you know, my kids know nothing about the projects, you know. And I got 6 of them, and they all was raised in Antioch in the home,
That's
you
what's up.
know, swimming pool in the backyard, and I was able to change their life through music. So that's the most proudest I am just with that alone.
Okay. Now I know earlier, you know, I had mentioned about how the Bay Area has influenced, you know, independent distribution, you know, slang, obviously with E40, production, entrepreneurship, and culture. But I know sometimes the Bay doesn't get mentioned enough in national conversation. So what contribution from the Bay Area hip hop do you think the rest of the world still hasn't fully appreciated?
What contributions from the Bay that the world hasn't appreciated? I
Yeah,
don't know.
fully, just fully.
I just think the like you said earlier, the independent game.
The
You
independent
know,
game.
now that it's coming around. Now everybody have to get independent. Now they starting to see, and we gotta jump on them on that. That's why one of the biggest independent labels is right smack dab in the Bay, which is Empire. You know, we've been doing it out the trunk. Some people had to make adjustments, like people from the South, and well, some of the South was independent too because P and them brought the game down there. They learned it. But a lot of the East Coast dudes, a lot of the dudes from even Southern California, a lot of them, they was used to going into them big labels. They had labels in their city, you know, in their area. You know, you had a lot of the Capitol Records and all that stuff down there in LA. You had the Def Jams and all that on the East Coast. So a lot of them labels, a lot of them artists was able to go in and get deals, and they got spoiled with them deals. So when they stripped them deals away, they don't know what to do. They running around now with like chickens with their heads cut off. We didn't care about the deals. So when we did get the deals, it was like, okay, it was cool. We'll get our little advance, do our thing. But as soon as they start acting funny, we don't give a fuck. We gonna go back to the trunk. You ain't gonna shelf us. They can get shelved and you won't hear about them for years. You know, Atlantic tried to do me like that on once I did that album, I tried to go get my budget. They wanted me to do a single. I'm like, man, I don't do like we don't do singles. We need a single before we open up the budget. I'm like, man, I don't want to. I work on albums. I can't just give you a single right now. And they
Gotcha.
was just like, well, we'll give you a budget for the single. So they gave me 10,000. I put together a single. They didn't like it, so I told them give me some money. They gave me another 6,000. I did another song. They didn't really care for it. They like, this is. You know, it was just a little too. It was street. It was. And I ain't gonna lie. I kind of did it on purpose because they was pissing me off. So when they did that, they didn't want to open up the budget. And they just like, yeah, well, we can't agree to anything. So I said, well, y'all, I had a mandatory second album. They didn't want me to do the second album. They had to pay me $175,000 to then have me walk away. They tried not to do it. They tried to put me on the show. And I got my lawyers and the shit on them. And then I went independent. Like the next week I used them songs I got from them.
Mhm.
And then I start working on a whole nother album. We put out that fucking Hostile Takeover. You know what I mean?
God
I end up,
damn.
you know, like that came out in '99, I think it was. Like we put out
Yeah.
Hitman shit in '99, and right behind that, we did the bootlegs and bass shit to buy some time. We put that out.
Mhm.
Then we did the H2O Hitman that came out in '99. In 2000, we did the whatchamacallit, the Hostile Takeover. I was like, man, we not finna sit around.
Hell no.
Sue us if you want to. I don't give a fuck. We independent. We don't gotta count on y'all, man. You know what I mean? So
What's your
yeah.
favorite solo project from yourself?
My favorite solo would be 70s Baby.
70s Baby. Okay.
70s Baby. That came out in '08. No, 2012. Was that 2012 or 08? I'm getting the years mixed. I think it was '08. I believe it was
Because I
08.
thought 2012 was when Still Ruthless came out.
2000. You're right. So it's '08.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Still Ruthless came out 12. '08 was 70s
70s
Baby.
Baby.
So yeah,
Yeah.
70s Baby is my favorite. And then the new one is probably gonna be up there with it. This new one I got, man, I'm gonna drop called Top Hat Music. That's up there, man.
Okay. When does that come out?
That's my thing. That dropping in August. Yeah, it was
Okay.
ready. It was about to drop this month, but then me and Keith, we put some pep in our step, and we start moving that up. So I said, let me hold off. I don't want to drop this before it. I don't want no distraction. I want to get this Keek out, and then I'll worry about my album, because I think my album will benefit more piggybacking off the Me and Keek album. You know, so that's what we doing.
Shout out to Kick the Sneak, man.
Yes, sir, my boy.
Okay, well, I don't like ending with what's next because this platform is about documenting legacies. And so when it's all said and done and somebody finds your story years from now, what do you want them to understand about your contribution to the culture?
Understand about the contribution, man, that we wasn't quitters. You know what I mean? That we did we had, I lost my guys and RBL Posse still pulled through. You know what I mean? That we just wasn't quitters, man, and we was definitely Frisco representatives, man. That's really all I could really say just off top. I mean, I never really care what people thought or whatever. I just do it out of love. I love doing music. But if anything, like I say, if anybody can pull something from it, is that RBL, man, was solid and wasn't quitters, and we was, definitely one of the top dogs when it comes to this Bay Area game. We pioneers for sure.
Well, from Gutter Kane and Serving the Raw, I definitely want to give you flowers. You are, not only what you were able to accomplish with RBL Posse, but everything that you've been able to accomplish solo, as far as the book, the movie. Hopefully, whenever I know that's coming. But
yes,
just
sir.
I know, like I said, just as you being a solid individual, I've never heard any type of smut. Nobody ever said that bad, anything. Yeah. So I just want the new generation to know, man. And like I said, I really want you to know that, like, I do appreciate all the contributions that you've given to the culture as a whole.
Man, appreciate it. Yeah, we definitely, man, don't want hey, we ain't trying to tarnish no legacies around here. Like I said, we try to do everything the right way, man, you know what I mean? Literally. So it's, that's one of the things I stand on is business, and anybody I done met since the day I got in this business, I'm into building relationships. They don't say RBL be out there with the fans. RBL do not act like divas. We don't hang backstage with the rappers and doing the fake shaking hands. And let's link up. We're going to do this. Like, bro, I ain't got time for all that. I might run into you 4-5 times and get burnt out after a while. We going to link up. Let's link up. If not, just say hi and bye, keep it moving. We hang with the fans. We rock with the fans, man. And like I said, we just too real for this industry. Like, I always been like that. Like, man, I rock with who rocking with me, and that's the fans, bro. Like, without them is no me. So I always have time. I will sit out for hours in the crowd, signing autographs, taking pictures. And my dudes sometimes be mad at me, like, bro, you be just letting yourself be out there. Like, bro, I don't care, bro. They ain't finna let nothing happen to me. My fans love me, man. I'm not a diva, man. You know what I mean? And I feel I'm protected by that man upstairs, man. I'm finna get out here and shake these hands in a campaign out here, man. You got to shake hands and kiss the babies for sure.
Already. Well, before I let you go, I have this my bonus segment, called White Lines. Got to keep it cocaine themed. But basically, I ask some questions, and then you just give me the first answer that comes in mind. Quick answers, no filters. First thing that comes to mind. All right. Most underrated city for talent.
San Francisco.
Favorite Bay Area album of all times.
Damn. Is this excluding me?
No, you can put yourself. No, you can put yourself
solo,
it says just favorite Bay Area album.
Lesson to be learned. I mean, come on.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna say Mr. Flamboyant. I love E40. I liked it that too, but I'm going with Lesson to be learned.
Already. One artist from today's generation you respect.
Larry June.
Best studio session you ever experienced.
Enhancer. The day we was working on I Got My 9.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. One RBL Posse song.
No. Let me scratch that.
Okay.
The day we worked on A Lesson to be Learned in TC Studio.
Okay. Yeah. Now, who's all in there? Just you?
It was Cold World Hustlers before they became Cold World. We had it was people like UDI in there who before they was UDI was 11-5 in there before they was 11-5. We had a studio full of people all on there saying, "Bitch, I thought you knew," and all. Man, it was hella people. Fly Mar was in there. Man, we was hell of us up in there. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
that
right.
was a dope day. That was a dope night, actually.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right. One RBL Posse song everybody should revisit.
Hammerweed for sure.
Okay. A song that instantly puts you in a good mood.
You saying like one of my songs or just any song?
Just any song. Just a song that instantly puts you in a good mood.
Oh, what's the name of the song, man? Man, over here, mind boggled. Right now I'm just going. I'm going to say, um,
Instantly puts you in a good mood. You could be mad in the motherfucker, and then somebody can play the song. You be like, you know
I'm
what?
gonna,
I ain't
I'm,
even tripping.
I'm gonna say, Bodyguard, Earth Crisis. I mean, Steel Post.
Okay. All right. One thing people completely misunderstand about BlackC.
They think I'm mean as hell because I got a Popeye squint because I lost my eye, but
I
I'm
ain't gonna
hella
lie.
cool.
I thought you was mean as a motherfucker too, dog.
Everybody think I'm hella mean until they get to know me. They always like, man, you be looking mean as hell, bro. You be standing, but it's just how my demeanor is. But I'm hella cool though. You know, I'm hella
Okay.
approachable.
Yeah, I saw you on how we coming because you had that first verse and shit, nigga. I was like, man, this nigga probably like he'll just whoop somebody's ass, man.
For
Yeah.
sure. You know.
If Heavy in It was a movie, what genre would it be?
Well, whatever the same genre that we would have, Menace to Society and Colors in.
Okay, so that was like I think that was like shit. Was it drama and action or some shit?
Gangster drama and
A gangster
action.
action, yeah, gangster drama.
Yeah.
Action.
Whatever
Let's see.
that be, yeah, it'll be in that with it'll
Up in
be in
there
there
with
with
the
Boys in the Hood and Minister Society, things of that nature, Belly, Paid in
okay.
Full. Yeah.
All right. One Bay Area legend that deserves a Hollywood film.
I would say E40 for sure. I like their story. Of course, Too Short, but I think he already got enough stuff. I think, damn, it'll be out of Too Short and E40, man. Too Short got a good one too, though. 'Cause he's shit. Damn.
Them
I'm gonna go with
boys.
E40. I'm gonna go with
E40.
E40.
Okay. What's harder, staying relevant or staying authentic?
Staying relevant.
Okay. One word that describes Mr. C.
Charismatic, funny, charismatic.
Charismatic. One word that describes Hitman.
Hitman, man. I would say, man, and that fucking jokester, man. Yeah, I would say, man, he's a fucking comedian. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Funny.
Okay. One word that describes the Bay.
The Bay, I would say, unique.
Okay. One word that describes your journey.
How can I say that word?
I was gonna say
Perseverance. How you say
okay,
it?
because I was gonna say survivalist. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one, what word that one word that describes your legacy? That's probably be survival.
Yeah, it would definitely be survivalist, man. You know what I mean? For sure.
All righty, man. Well, hey, look, I want to give a huge shout out to BlackC for coming through, man, sharing his story, his wisdom, and giving us a deeper look into his legacy behind the music. What I appreciate most about this conversation that it wasn't just about records; it was about your perseverance.
Right,
Yeah,
perseverance. That's how you
yeah,
say it, right?
yeah. Ownership, growth, and just preserving a culture that to me, I feel like you help shape a generations. It's like I said, when we talk about Frisco, there's no other, like, y'all are the epitome of San Francisco,
Real talk.
yeah.
Real
And
talk.
but to all the servers, man, I want to thank y'all for constantly supporting me. If you rock with this episode, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Follow us on Instagram. I got new episodes dropping every Wednesday and on our streaming platforms. So stay locked in, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Yes, Lord.
Ah.